Introduction. What if the life you are living today was completely built by the thoughts you have been repeating for years? Take a moment to look around you. Look at your current relationships, the state of your finances, the level of peace you feel when you wake up in the morning, and even the minor frustrations that seem to follow you from week to week. For most of our lives, we have been taught to look at these external circumstances as things that simply happen to us. We blame a difficult economy, an unfair boss, our upbringing, or simple bad luck for our struggles. We treat our lives like a movie we are forced to sit through, entirely unaware that our hand has been resting on the projector the whole time. The truth is much more startling, and infinitely more hopeful. Your mind is not a passive recorder of your reality. Your thoughts are not harmless, invisible chatter drifting aimlessly through your head while you go about your day. They are the silent, invisible architects of your absolute destiny. Every repeated worry, every private declaration of unworthiness, every quiet visualization of success, and every bitter resentment you harbor acts as a literal brick. Day by day, moment by moment, you have been laying these bricks down, constructing the exact reality you inhabit right now. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by this realization. It means tearing down the comfortable shield of the victim mentality. But look at the flip side of this cosmic law. If your past thoughts built your current limitations, then your present thoughts have the absolute power to tear them down and build something magnificent in their place. You are not trapped. You have simply been operating a powerful machine without reading the manual. By the time you finish listening to this audiobook, you will never look at your inner world the same way again. You will learn to treat a passing thought with the same reverence and caution you would show a physical seed dropped into the earth. The wandering stops today. The blame stops today. Let us open the blueprint of your mind and discover how your thoughts are creating your destiny right now. Chapter 1: The Invisible Power Creating Your Life. Core Concept: Thoughts create reality. Have you ever noticed how two people can walk into the exact same room, under the exact same circumstances, and walk out with two completely different versions of reality? Imagine a local coffee shop on a bustling Tuesday morning. Two individuals, Sarah and Michael, are standing in a long line. The barista is overwhelmed, the espresso machine is shrieking, and the wait is pushing 10 minutes. Sarah stands in line, her eyes darting to her watch. Inside her mind, a familiar script begins to loop: this always happens to me. People are so incompetent. I'm going to be late for my meeting, my boss is going to be furious, and my entire day is ruined before it even starts. Her shoulders tense, her heart rate spikes, and adrenaline floods her system. When she finally gets her coffee, she snaps at the barista, spills a drop on her blouse, rushes out the door, and runs a red light because she is driving with frantic, angry energy. Right behind her is Michael. He sees the same long line and the same stressed barista. But his internal script is different. Wow, this place is packed today. Good for them. This gives me a perfect 5 minutes to breathe, listen to my favorite podcast, and just settle my mind before the chaotic workday begins. Michael relaxes his posture. He feels a wave of appreciation for the warm aroma of the coffee beans. When he reaches the counter, he notices the barista's sweat, offers a warm, genuine smile, and says, "Take your time, I appreciate you." The barista softens, gives him an extra shot of espresso for free, and Michael walks out into the world feeling grounded, energized, and ready to conquer his day. The exact same environment. The exact same delay. Yet, Sarah created a day of conflict and stress, while Michael created a day of flow and opportunity. Did the coffee shop create their destinies? No. Their internal worlds dictated their outer experiences. Every single human action, no matter how monumental or microscopic, begins as a silent spark within the mind. The magnificent bridges that span our rivers, the digital platforms that connect our world, the books that touch our souls, none of them existed in the physical realm first. They were born in the invisible, quiet theater of someone's imagination. A pioneer had to sit in a quiet room, look at empty space, and think a thought so clearly, so repetitively, that it eventually hardened into steel, glass, and code. The exact same process is happening within your life, whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously. James Allen, the great philosopher of the inner life, wrote that mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and, shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. Most people are unknowingly using the tool of thought to shape 1,000 ills. They spend their commutes, their evenings, and their quiet moments rehearsing their fears. They mentally practice arguments with their spouses before they even walk through the front door. They imagine failing their exams, losing their clients, or running out of money before the month ends. Because the mind cannot distinguish between a real event and an intensely imagined one, your body and your subconscious accept these mental rehearsals as current reality. You begin to walk, talk, and behave like a person who is constantly under attack. You miss opportunities because your mind is calibrated only to see threats. You push helpful people away because your internal radar is scanning for betrayal. We think our thoughts are hidden safely inside our skulls, completely secret from the world. But the universe is a flawless mirror. Your outer world will always, with absolute mathematical precision, reflect your inner world. If your mind is filled with confusion, discord, and a sense of lack, you can change your job, move to a new city, or find a new relationship, but you will soon find that the exact same patterns of confusion and discord will manifest in your new environment. You cannot flee from your own mind. Think of your mind as a broadcasting tower. If you tune your radio station to 98.1 FM, you cannot be angry when you hear the music playing on that frequency. You cannot scream at the radio or beg it to play the songs from 105.5 FM. If you want a different sound, you must turn the dial. If you want a different life, you must change the frequency of your thoughts. If thoughts create circumstances, what kinds of thoughts are currently creating yours? What hidden blueprints have you been broadcasting into the world while you slept, while you commuted, and while you conversed? If you look at your life as a physical landscape, what kinds of seeds have you been scattering across the soil? Chapter 2, The Garden of the Mind. Core concept, mind as fertile soil. Let us look closer at one of the most beautiful analogies ever written about human consciousness, the mind as a garden. Imagine you have just bought a beautiful piece of land. The soil is exceptionally rich, dark, and deep. It is perfectly fertile, capable of growing anything you desire. Now, this soil is completely impartial. It does not possess a moral code. It does not sit there and think, oh, this is a beautiful rose seed, I will make it grow beautifully. And this is a toxic weed seed, I will refuse to give it water. The soil simply accepts whatever is dropped into its embrace. If you plant rows of nourishing corn, sweet fruits, and fragrant flowers, the soil will work day and night in the dark to bring forth a magnificent harvest that will feed your family and delight your senses. But what happens if you don't plant anything at all? What happens if you just leave the land completely alone, walk away, and ignore it for a year? The soil doesn't stay empty. The wind will blow through, birds will fly over, and random, stray seeds of wild weeds, thistles, and thorns will drop into the ground. Because the soil is fertile and non-judgmental, it will feed those weeds with the exact same energy it would use to feed a rose. When you return a year later, your beautiful plot of land will not be a pristine blank canvas. It will be a choked, chaotic jungle of useless, prickly weeds. Your mind is that exact plot of land. Every single day, you are either actively planting seeds of your own choosing, or you are leaving the gates open for stray, toxic weeds to take root. Think about how we consume information in the modern digital age. We wake up in the morning, and before our eyes are even fully open, we grab our phones and begin scrolling through social media feeds and news outlets. What are we doing? We are letting thousands of random strangers walk directly into our sacred garden and dump bags of unregulated seeds into our soil. We absorb stories of crime, political division, economic ruin, vanity, and comparison. We look at someone else's curated, perfect life and instantly plant a seed of envy and unworthiness in our own minds. I'm not doing well enough. Life is passing me by. Resources are scarce. By midday, those seeds have already begun to sprout small roots. We feel a lingering, unexplained anxiety. We are irritable with our colleagues. We feel a heavy sense of fatigue. We wonder why we feel so drained, completely forgetting that we spent our first waking 20 minutes planting emotional thistles in our mental landscape. James Allen observed that just as a gardener cultivates his plot, keeping it free from weeds, and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may a man tend the garden of his mind, weeding out all the impure, useless, and wrong thoughts, and cultivating toward perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and pure thoughts. Being the gardener of your mind means stepping into a role of fierce, uncompromising stewardship. It means becoming highly selective about what you allow to cross the perimeter of your awareness. It means recognizing that a negative thought is not just a passing phrase, it is a living entity that wants to grow. When a thought of doubt enters your mind, such as, "I don't think I have what it takes to finish this project," an untrained mind will nurture it. You will think about it, argue with it, find evidence from your past to support it, and tell your friends about it. By doing this, you are watering the weed. You are giving it sunlight and fertilizer. Within a few days, that single thought of doubt will grow into a thick vine of imposter syndrome that completely paralyzes your actions. An expert gardener sees the weed the moment it breaks the surface of the soil. They don't analyze it for weeks. They don't try to reason with it. They reach down, grab it by the root, and yank it out. They replace it immediately by planting a deliberate seed of truth. I am fully capable of learning whatever I need to learn to succeed. Look at the current state of your life. If you have chronic chaos in your relationships, if you are constantly facing financial emergencies, or if you feel a perpetual sense of unfulfillment, do not look at the external world to find the culprit. Step into your mental garden. Look closely at the deep, hidden corners of your subconscious conditioning. What hidden weeds may already be growing beneath the surfaces of your daily interactions? What old, decaying beliefs from your childhood are still drinking the water of your current attention? Chapter 3: Why Most People Stay Stuck. Core Concept: Limiting Beliefs and Personal Responsibility. If changing our lives is as simple as changing our thoughts, why on earth do most people stay so incredibly stuck? Why do we see millions of people trapped in the exact same exhausting loops for decades, complaining about the same weights, marrying the same type of toxic partner over and over, and staying perpetually broke? The answer lies in a profound psychological comfort zone known as the victim mentality. It is a strange, paradoxical truth of human nature that we would often rather be miserable and right, than happy and responsible. When we blame outside forces for our problems, we get a powerful, immediate reward: we are absolved of blame. If my business failed because of the bad economy, then I don't have to look in the mirror and examine my own lack of discipline, my poor financial management, or my failure to adapt. If my relationship ended because all men are terrible or all women are crazy, then I am the innocent hero of a tragic story. It feels good to our egos to feel blameless. It feels safe. But this safety is a complete illusion. The moment you place the blame for your life situation outside of yourself, you are making a devastating trade: you are trading away your absolute power. If your happiness depends on your spouse changing, or the economy improving, or your government passing a new law, you have rendered yourself completely helpless. You are a dry leaf blowing in the wind, waiting for external conditions to perfectly align before you can have a good life. And as we all know, the wind does not care about the leaf. James Allen dropped a truth bomb that shatters this victim illusion completely. He wrote, "Circumstances do not make the man, they reveal him to himself." Think about that for a second. When a sponge is squeezed, whatever is inside it comes squirting out. If it is filled with dirty water comes out. If it is filled with pure water comes out. The act of squeezing doesn't create the water, it simply forces what is already hidden inside to reveal itself. When life squeezes you, when you face a financial setback, a sudden breakup, or a health scare, the pressure does not create your character. The pressure simply squeezes out whatever thoughts, beliefs, and emotional habits you have been storing inside your subconscious mind. If you have filled your mind with scarcity and fear, a financial setback will cause you to panic, despair, and throw in the towel. If you have filled your mind with resilience, abundance, and faith, that exact same financial setback will reveal a creative problem solver who sees the challenge as a masterclass in growth. Many people unknowingly sabotage their own success because they are constantly arguing for their limitations. Have you ever spoken to someone and tried to offer a solution to their problem, only for them to instantly shoot it down with 100 reasons why it won't work for them? You should start an online business. Oh, I don't have the tech skills, and the market is too saturated anyway. You could take an online course to learn. Oh, I don't have the time, I'm too tired after work. They are fiercely protecting their limitations like a prized possession. Why? Because if they admit that a solution is possible, they have to take action. And taking action requires moving through discomfort, risking failure, and accepting full responsibility for the outcome. You cannot consistently think one way and expect a completely different life. You cannot plant nightshade and pray for mangoes. If you spend your days marinating in thoughts of unworthiness, jealousy, and anger, you are literally training your brain's reticular activating system, the internal filtering mechanism, to only notice things that justify your anger and unworthiness. You will walk past open doors of opportunity without ever seeing them because your mind is tuned only to the frequency of the wall. What would happen if, starting right now, you stopped arguing for your limitations? What if you decided that no matter what your past looked like, or what your current bank account says, you are going to take absolute, radical responsibility for every single thought that crosses your mind? The moment you step out of the courtroom of blame and onto the field of personal authority, the chains fall away. You realize that you are the author of the book, not just a character reading the pages. Chapter 4: The Secret Link Between Thought and Character. Core Concept: Thought builds character. We often speak of character as if it is an unchangeable, genetic trait that we are born with. We look at someone who possesses immense self-discipline, unwavering courage, and deep integrity, and we say, wow, they are just naturally a strong person. Or we look at someone who is chronically dishonest, lazy, and fearful, and we dismissively say, that's just who they are. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how a human being is constructed. Character is not a biological accident. Character is the slow, cumulative crystallization of your private thought life. Think of every single thought you have as a microscopic drop of water falling onto a stone. A single drop falls, and nothing seems to happen. The stone looks exactly the same. But if that drop continues to fall in the exact same spot, second after second, hour after hour, year after year, that soft, gentle water will eventually carve a deep, permanent groove right through the heart of the solid rock. Your thoughts are those drops of water. Your personality traits are the deep grooves carved into the stone. When you consciously choose to entertain a thought of integrity, for example, deciding to do the right thing even when no one is watching, you are carving a tiny groove of honesty into your brain. When you repeat that choice tomorrow, and the day after that, that groove becomes a highway. Honesty ceases to be a difficult, conscious struggle, it becomes your automatic default setting. It becomes your character. Conversely, consider how a person becomes corrupt or broken. It never happens overnight. No one wakes up on a Tuesday morning and suddenly decides to destroy their entire life, ruin their reputation, and betray everyone they love out of nowhere. It begins years prior, with a single, tiny, seemingly harmless thought of compromise. A thought that whispers, just this once won't hurt. Nobody will ever find out. Everyone else is doing it. Because the conscious mind doesn't see an immediate, catastrophic consequence, it allows that thought to stay. The person plays with it, visualizes it, and eventually acts on it. The next time the temptation arises, the groove is already there, making the second descent twice as easy as the first. Within a few years, those tiny, private mental compromises crystallize into a character defined by deceit, cowardice, and self-loathing. James Allen captured this perfectly when he wrote, "A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts." This means that your character is completely under your own control. You are not a finished product, you are a work in progress, and you hold the chisel. If you currently struggle with a lack of discipline, you don't need to accept it as a permanent character flaw. You simply need to change the mental inputs that precede the action. Discipline begins in the mind. It starts by taking control of the micro-narratives you tell yourself when you are lying in bed in the morning. When the alarm goes off, the weak character whispers, "I'm so tired. Life is too hard. I'll start tomorrow." The strong character, trained by deliberate thought, overrides the biological urge with a targeted affirmation of purpose: "This day will never come again. I rise with power, clarity, and focus." Every time you choose a thought of courage over fear, gratitude over envy, and self-respect over cheap validation, you are literally altering your neurology. You are building a mental fortress that no external storm can tear down. People will notice the shift. They will see a new presence, a steady confidence, and an unshakable peace radiating from you. They will call it good character, but you will know the truth: it is simply the physical manifest of thousands of private victories won inside the quiet stadium of your own mind. If thoughts shape character so completely, can they also shape practical success and material achievement? Let us cross the bridge from inner identity to outer accomplishment and explore how your mental blueprint dictates your victories in the physical world. Chapter 5: Thoughts, Success, and Achievement. Core Concept: Mindset and Achievement. Let us look out at the landscape of human achievement. Why do some people seem to scale great heights of success, build thriving businesses, launch world-changing digital platforms, and manifest their highest visions, while others, who possess the exact same level of intellect and talent, spend their whole lives spinning their wheels in mediocrity? The world loves to attribute success to external factors. They had connections. They had startup capital. They got a lucky break. But if you study the biographies of the world's most resilient achievers, you will find a common thread that completely shatters this theory. Many of them started with absolutely nothing, no money, no status, and facing immense systemic barriers. Yet, they possessed an internal asset that made their ultimate victory an absolute mathematical certainty: an unshakable, success-conditioned mind. Success does not begin in the marketplace, the boardroom, or the bank. Success begins internally long before it ever makes its first appearance externally. Consider a modern entrepreneur working on an innovative e-book platform or a digital marketing venture. If their internal thought pattern is dominated by a fear of failure, look at how that thought dictates their actions. Because they are afraid of losing money or looking foolish, they hesitate. They spend months overanalyzing details instead of launching. When they finally release their product, and it doesn't get immediate, viral traction, their negative mental blueprint steps in and says, "See? I knew it wouldn't work. I'm just not cut out for this." They give up, delete the project, and return to the safety of a job they dislike, pointing to the external world as proof that success is impossible. Now, consider an achiever with a success blueprint facing the exact same slow launch. Their internal script is fundamentally different: failure does not exist, only data exists. This initial response is simply a lesson showing me how to refine my approach, improve my value, and better serve my audience. I am entirely committed to my vision, and my ultimate success is inevitable. This thought pattern produces relentless, high-energy action. They don't take the setback personally. They adapt, rewrite the landing page, refine the marketing strategy, and show up again the next day with a smile. Their energy is magnetic. Helpful collaborators are drawn to them, clients trust them, and eventually, the external world has no choice but to yield to their persistence. The success that looks like a sudden miracle to an outside observer was actually built over months of choosing thoughts of absolute faith over thoughts of despair. James Allen stated this law with clear authority: a man can only rise, conquer, and achieve by lifting up his thoughts. He can only remain weak, and abject, and miserable by refusing to lift up his thoughts. To achieve anything of lasting value, you must pay the price of mental sacrifice. You must sacrifice your right to indulge in lazy, undisciplined, and scattered thinking. You cannot achieve a high level of financial freedom while holding on to a deep-seated resentment toward wealthy people. You cannot build a magnificent career while constantly thinking about how tired and unmotivated you feel. Achievers train their minds like Olympic athletes train their bodies. They do not allow their attention to drift aimlessly. They anchor their minds to a singular, clear purpose. They practice extreme mental focus, visualizing their goals as accomplished facts until their subconscious mind becomes entirely saturated with the feeling of victory. They treat their confidence not as an emotion that depends on the weather, but as a deliberate mental muscle that must be flexed every morning through targeted affirmations and clear, structured planning. When you lift your thoughts to the frequency of excellence, your habits automatically change. You stop wasting hours scrolling mindlessly through validation-seeking feeds. You start reading books that expand your psychology. You start investing your energy into digital assets, creative outlets, and deep personal growth. You become a person of value, and the physical universe responds by flooding your life with material abundance. But this realization brings us to a critical crossroad. We have all seen people who have achieved massive financial success, acquired wealth, and climbed to the top of their industries, yet their eyes are hollow, their relationships are fractured, and they are drowning in anxiety. Is material success enough? What about true happiness? Let us explore how thoughts shape the ultimate prize of human existence, profound inner peace. Chapter 6: The Path to Peace and Happiness. Core Concept: Emotional Mastery and Inner Peace. We live in a culture that is running a frantic, never-ending race toward a shifting finish line. We have been deeply conditioned to believe that happiness is a destination we will reach once our external conditions are flawlessly arranged. We tell ourselves, once I clear this debt, then I will finally relax. Once I find the perfect romantic partner, then I will feel complete. Once I hit my business goals and get my dream home, then I will be at peace. This is the ultimate psychological trap. It keeps you running on a hedonic treadmill, chasing a horizon that recedes with every step you take. The moment you achieve the goal, the ego quickly acclimates, experiences a brief spike of dopamine, and immediately sets a new target, plunging you right back into the familiar waters of stress, wanting, and anxiety. True peace and lasting happiness are not found in an external destination, they are cultivated inside your own mind. Peace is not an absence of trouble in your life, peace is the presence of harmony within your own thoughts. Imagine an exquisite, luxury resort on a tropical island. The weather is perfect, the water is crystal clear, and every amenity is provided. Sitting by the pool is a billionaire. To an outside observer, this person has achieved the pinnacle of a perfect life. But inside their mind, a storm is raging. They are obsessing over a legal battle, worrying about a competitor, and feeling a deep, toxic resentment toward an ex-spouse. Despite the physical paradise surrounding them, their body is tense, their mind is a prison, and they are utterly miserable. They are living in hell in the middle of heaven. A mile down the beach, a local fisherman is cleaning his nets. He lives in a small, humble home, and his income varies from week to week. But as he works, his mind is filled with gratitude. He appreciates the warmth of the sun on his skin, the laughter of his children playing nearby, and the simple beauty of the ocean. His mind is at ease, his heart is open, and he feels a deep, abiding contentment. He is living in heaven in the middle of a humble life. The world did not give the fisherman his joy, and the world could not take it away. It was an internal generation. James Allen wrote beautifully about this ultimate stage of mental mastery: calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Its presence is an indication of matured experience, and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. To find this path to peace, you must practice the art of cognitive forgiveness and emotional release. Resentment is the ultimate poison to a peaceful mind. When you harbor bitterness towards someone who wronged you in the past, you are not harming them at all. They are out living their life, completely unaware of your suffering. You are the one drinking the poison, expecting the other person to die. Every time you replay the betrayal in your head, you are re-injuring your own nervous system. You are using your current creative thought power to keep an old ghost alive in your living room. Forgiveness is not about approving of what the other person did. Forgiveness is a radical act of self-love. It is looking at the memory and saying, I value my current peace of mind more than I value my past grievance. I release you, and in doing so, I unlock the chains of my own prison. Alongside forgiveness, you must cultivate the habit of radical gratitude. Gratitude is not a shallow, polite cliché, it is a powerful metaphysical law. Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on what is missing in your life, the support you didn't get, the money you don't have, the flaws in your current situation, your mind calibrates itself to scarcity, and you will live in a perpetual state of emotional poverty. But when you deliberately focus your thoughts on what is going right, the health you do have, the lessons you are learning, the clean water available to you, your mind shifts to the frequency of abundance, and inner joy flows naturally. What kind of future becomes possible when your mind is no longer at war with itself? What level of creativity, power, and success can you unleash when your energy is no longer being drained by the leaks of anxiety, judgment, and regret? Let us enter the final blueprint and learn how to step forward as the conscious architect of your ultimate destiny. Chapter 7, Becoming the Architect of Your Destiny. Core Concept, Practical Steps for Reshaping Thought Patterns. We have traveled through the hidden landscapes of the mind. We have seen how thoughts act as invisible seeds in a fertile garden, how they carve the permanent stone of your character, how they dictate your practical achievements in the world, and how they unlock the ultimate treasury of inner peace. Now, the time for abstract philosophy is over. It is time to pick up the tools, step onto the construction site of your life, and become the conscious architect of your absolute destiny. Destiny is not a mystical card dealt to you by a blind universe. Destiny is not something that happens to you, it is a living structure that you create through the choices you make in the quiet intervals between your breaths. To reshape your reality, you must transition from a reactive life to an intentional life. The average person wakes up and reacts to everything. They react to the alarm, react to the traffic, react to the emails, and react to their moods. They are a passenger in a vehicle driven by external triggers and old, subconscious habits. To become an architect, you must take the steering wheel with fierce, unwavering clarity. The first practical step in this transformation is the practice of mental auditing. For the next 48 hours, I want you to develop a secondary awareness. Step back into the position of the observer and watch your thoughts as if they belong to someone else. When you are washing the dishes, driving your car, or working on a digital project, pay close attention to the background music playing in your mind. Are you silently telling yourself, I'm so tired of this struggle. I'll never get ahead. Things are always so difficult. The moment you catch one of these limiting scripts, do not judge yourself or descend into guilt. Simply label it. Say to yourself, that is an old script. It no longer serves me. By observing the thought without attaching your emotion to it, you strip it of its power. You cut off its oxygen supply. The second tool is strategic plantings. You must deliberately design the mental inputs that enter your garden. Replace your morning mindless scroll with 15 minutes of pure mental enrichment. Listen to profound audiobooks that expand your understanding of psychology, mindset, and philosophy. Read books that build your skills in digital marketing, wealth generation, or spiritual realization. Before you open your mouth to speak, ask yourself, is what I am about to say planting a rose or a weed in my life and the lives of those around me? Speak only of abundance, solutions, growth, and vision. If you have nothing constructive to contribute to a conversation, choose the elegant dignity of silence. The third tool is the pre-sleep impression. As we explored earlier, the moments right before you drift into sleep are the most sacred of the day. Do not squander them. As you lie in the dark, completely close your physical senses to any current lack or frustration in your room. Step into the theater of your imagination and construct a short, vivid mental movie of your ideal future. See your digital platform thriving. See your bank account overflowing with honorable wealth. Feel the exquisite relief of complete health and absolute freedom. Loop this feeling over and over until your mind is completely soaked in gratitude, and then let yourself slip into the subconscious void holding that exact frequency. You are sealing the blueprint. You are handing the workers in the engine room a flawless set of instructions for the construction of your tomorrow. James Allen left us with this ultimate, rallying call to sovereignty. By yourself you are ruined, if you choose ruin; by yourself you are lifted into power, strength, and peace, if you choose wisdom. The door to your prison was never locked. The keys have been resting in your pocket the entire time. You no longer have permission to look at your past with regret or your future with fear. Your past was simply a school, providing the exact lessons required to bring you to this moment of awakening. Your future is a blank canvas, waiting for the brushstrokes of your current focus. Stand tall. Breathe in the infinite power that resides within your own consciousness. Recognize that you are a child of an opulent, intelligent universe, fully equipped with everything required to manifest a life of grandeur, purpose, and beauty. The blueprint is in your hands, guided reflection and conclusion. Core concept, integration and final call to action. As we approach the conclusion of our journey together, let us step away from the noise of the external world. If it is safe to do so, let your eyes close gently. Settle your body. Let go of any tension in your shoulders, release the tightness in your jaw, and take a deep, slow, deliberate breath into your lungs, and let it out with a sigh. In this quiet space, separate from your roles, your tasks, and your immediate worries, let us step together into the grand treasury of your inner kingdom. I want you to imagine yourself standing at the edge of a pristine, beautiful lake. The water is completely still, like a flawless sheet of glass. The sky above is vast, clear, and filled with infinite stars. This lake represents your deep, subconscious mind. For years, you have been throwing heavy rocks of worry, bitter stones of regret, and pebbles of doubt into this water, creating endless waves of disturbance that shattered the beautiful reflection of your life. But look at the water now. It is calm. The ripples are fading away. You are stepping into the role of the sovereign observer. As you stand by this peaceful water, look ahead and visualize the human being you are deliberately choosing to become. See yourself walking through the world with absolute confidence, your head held high, your heart completely open, and your eyes radiating a deep, unshakable inner peace. See yourself operating your business affairs or digital marketing platforms with immense flow, creativity, and integrity. Imagine the exquisite feeling of complete financial sovereignty, knowing that you have built a life of abundance through the disciplined operation of your own mind. Feel the emotion of gratitude wash through your body right now. Do not wait for the physical manifestation to arrive before you thank the universe. Taste the victory now. Feel the relief now. Soak your entire awareness in the absolute certainty that your vision is already an accomplished fact in the invisible realm of consciousness, and that its physical appearance is an inevitable spiritual law. Let us review the golden pillars we have established on this sacred path. Remember that your life is a precise, mathematical mirror. If you are unhappy with what you see in the glass, do not fight the reflection. Go deep within and alter the internal blueprint. Remember that your mind is a precious, highly fertile garden. Guard the gates with absolute vigilance. Refuse to let stray seeds of media negativity, toxic gossip, or societal fear take root in your soil. Pull out the weeds of doubt the moment they show their face, and plant deliberate, beautiful seeds of purpose, faith, and abundance in their place. Remember that your character is built drop by drop, thought by thought. Every time you choose self-discipline over laziness, courage over fear, and honesty over convenience, you are carving permanent highways of excellence into your soul. You are becoming an unshakable force. Remember that success and peace are internal generations. Wealth begins with an abundance consciousness, and joy begins with a mind that has chosen to forgive the past and appreciate the present. Peace is not a destination, it is the path you walk. James Allen's eternal message echoes through the ages, reminding us that you will achieve what you deserve, not what you merely wish for. Your wishes and prayers are only answered when they harmonize with your thoughts and actions. The journey does not end when this audio stops. This is where your true life begins. Tomorrow morning, when the sun rises and the world rushes in with its demands, remember who you are. Remember that you are the master gardener, the captain of the ship, the architect of the palace. Walk with sovereignty. Think with intention. Speak with power. Watch your thoughts, for they become your destiny. Every single moment is a new, pristine opportunity to plant a better seed. Thank you for walking this sacred path to self-realization with us. This is Bloom Within Audiobooks. Timeless audiobooks for personal growth, psychology, and philosophy. If this message has awakened a spark within your soul, please subscribe to our channel, leave your deepest reflection in the comments below, and share this light with another seeker who is ready to transform their life. Listen. Reflect. Transform. Walk in absolute abundance, live with unshakable peace, and remember, your thoughts are creating your destiny right now.